Welcome to the Agent Mentor Podcast, where we don't just talk real estate, we navigate it. You've heard it before, a coach is like a GPS, giving you turn-by-turn directions to hit your goals fast. But as your mentor, I'm here to do more than just guide you. I'm here to light the way, help you sidestep the roadblocks, and make sure you enjoy every moment of the journey. Whether you're a brand new agent learning the ropes or you're an experienced pro facing the next big challenge, this podcast is your go-to resource for practical tips, everyday advice, and stories from the trenches. We'll break down the strategies that really work and tackle the obstacles that come with building a successful real estate career. Let's hit the road to your success together. Welcome back to the Agent Mentor Podcast. I'm your real estate mentor, Mindi Kessenich. I'd love for you to think of this podcast as a conversation with your real estate best friend. But in order for you to do that, I think you need to kind of understand the type of friend that I am in real life. I consider myself a really good friend because I love really well. However, part of being a really good friend, in my opinion, is giving people some hard truths sometimes. Anybody that knows me and is friends with me in real life knows that I will absolutely show up and give you all of the advice and support and encouragement that you could ever possibly want or need. But I will also hold you to a high standard for yourself and will also push you to grow. And sometimes I think that can look like pushing a little bit. And so that's the type of friend that I am, and that's who I really want to be for you in this realm of real estate mentorship. And part of that is just going to be giving you some really hard truths that maybe you don't want to think about or don't want to explore, but that's where I'm going to push you. I also want you to know, though, that this is also a safe place. I am a safe person to bring those challenges and concerns. I will likely relate to them and probably have been through something similar, and will be happy to give you not only some advice, but also a little bit of encouragement and sometimes a hard truth if you need one. So feel free to reach out to me with any of your questions, concerns, issues, and I am here to help. Today, we're going to talk about your business a little bit. So I want to jump right into helping you grow your business. If you are here, maybe you are a new agent, maybe you're experienced, maybe you're just a little bit stuck. I think that we are all, meaning wherever you live, wherever you are around the globe, experiencing some challenging times right now in real estate. There are just a lot of moving pieces. There is a lot of instability. It's an election year. All of those things play into the type of temperature that we feel in the real estate industry. And so right now, I think that there are a lot of agents out there floundering. And if that's you, this is a really good place to start. So I want to talk to you a little bit about time management and just how are you treating your business? If you are a full-time real estate agent, that means that you should be spending 40 hours a week or more on your business. Now, let me also say that most of us chose this career, or this career chose us, because having some flexibility in your life and your schedule is really important for you. And so absolutely, maybe you're at a point where you don't have to put in a full 40-hour week to still accomplish that goal of maybe making a really good, solid 6+ figure business. And that's amazing. But if you are not at that place yet, and or you have been at that place, or you just want to grow your income, you have to start by looking and being super, super honest with yourself about your calendar. Now, like I talked about in our sort of intro trailer type episode, mentoring and coaching are two very, very different concepts. And so hopefully you have at this point received some coaching, or maybe are part of some coaching or a coaching program, or at least are spending some time getting some free online resources around real estate coaching. And if you are not, I will give you the details as to where I go, where I have been a coach through, and what I recommend in the show notes. I've been a part of a program called Agent Rise Coaching for several years. I'm still active in it today. It's amazing. However, this episode, again, is going to be tailored towards the mentoring side of things. I bring up the coaching because a coach is going to help you to structure that work week. And so hopefully you have some sort of structure in your day-to-day and in your week to week. And there's so many different ways that you can tackle your day and your week, and it really depends on your personality. So it's not a one size fits all. It is very much should be conducive to you, because if you don't enjoy what you're doing, you're not going to be consistent, and consistency is the key to success in real estate. Even if it's not every single week, there's got to be consistency somewhere within your business. That being said, if you don't have coaching, let's just break that down a little bit and talk about some ideas around what a sample week could look like. So obviously, you should have some different areas within your business, right, that you're constantly growing and working on. For me, I have 3 pillars. That is the foundation of the coaching program that I'm a part of. I have my sphere of influence pillar, I have a chase pillar, and then I have an attraction pillar. Those are the 3 pillars that Agent Rise works off of. And so my business, on any given week, I have time set aside within that week to work on my sphere of influence pillar, my chase pillar, and my attraction pillar. For my sphere of influence pillar, I have an entire system around what that looks like and what I do. And so then every week I have some time blocked off to work on that portion of my business. Same with the chase, same with the attraction. Chase pillar is going to look different for everyone. Same with attraction pillar. It's going to be what fits your personality, what aligns with your goals, what are the areas in which you want to create a niche or you want to just really specialize in. And this could be anywhere from senior living to geofarming to YouTube. I mean, the sky's the limit here. However, in each one of these pillars, you should have a full plan of what you're doing and what that looks like. And within that plan, you have a filter so that you can avoid wasting your time, your very precious time every single week, doing things that don't align with those pillars of your business. And that's what that filter is there for. So you can kind of run it through the filter and figure out, does this align with each one? Today, though, again, I'm going to be your real estate mentor and your real estate bestie, right? And I'm going to talk to you about how much time you are spending on your engagements. Because whether you have a coach or whether you don't have a coach, or whether you're experienced or whether you are brand new first day on the job, one thing remains the same amongst all real estate agents on the planet. Your business is only as good as your engagements. And as I am mentoring you on this topic, I'm also listening to my own words, because, they say that the best way to learn something sometimes is to teach it. And I am currently in this position where I know that the quality of my engagements are not where they need to be in order for me to accomplish the goals that I have set. So what does that look like? If you're perfectly happy with where you are in your business, which I don't know personally a ton of agents that would say that they are right now perfectly happy with where things are. I mean, it is the fall of 2024 right now. Again, it is an election year, so that adds a little bit of volatility to the market. So maybe you're listening to this and it's a much different place and you are perfectly happy. That's great. However, do you know how many engagements you got in order to be where you're at and have the business that you have that you love? So that's the first question. Are you tracking? Have you been tracking, or do you need to start tracking your engagements? And part of this is, like I said, maybe you're perfectly happy with where things are, but you still need to know what that number is, because the only way that you got to where you are right now, whether that's amazing or it sucks, is by your engagements. So if you're in a position where you're like, I have nothing in pending, I have nothing in the pipeline, I have no leads, you likely have had no engagements. Or maybe the engagements that you have had are just they're really low hanging fruit. So if you're in a position right now that you're like, I want to go to the next level, I want to improve my business, I want to go into the fall, the rest of the fall, the winter, and next year with a very full pipeline and a lot of transactions and a lot of leads and all of the things that we all want all the time, I'm going to tell you that you need to put yourself on an engagement tracker. You can do this through my 90-day planner. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see I'm pointing to it. This is what it looks like. It's on Amazon. I will link it in the show notes. Or you can literally pull out a piece of paper. There are also free downloads that you can get on probably Etsy or anywhere on the internet that you just need to, literally you can draw a box on a blank piece of paper and start writing down the names of the people that you are talking to. I would aim for at least 10 a day or 50 to 60 per week in order to get your business some momentum. Obviously, if you want your business to just skyrocket, you need to up that number. If you're really happy with where you're at, maybe you just need to start documenting how many people you are very organically in conversation with every day. Which leads me to the next thing. When I say in conversation, so what does an engagement, what does that mean, and what do you count? I know that's always a really big question that people have, is like, what counts as an engagement? And what I count as an engagement is any conversation with any one person that could or will or does lead to business in the future. So sometimes this could be, if you're a team leader and you are looking to grow your team, this could be maybe even another agent that you had a really good conversation with about potentially joining you, because if they join your team, that could lead to future income for you. So that counts for me as an engagement. If you're not a team leader and you are strictly trying to build a business of real estate transactions, that's going to look like sphere of influence. It's going to look like people that, maybe depending on what your chase pillar is, it could look like any conversations that result from that pillar and what you're doing, spending time growing and cultivating that part of your business. Or it can sometimes be social media, but what it is not is like, well, I liked 7 of my friends' posts on Facebook. That doesn't count as an engagement. It really needs to be something that you are conversing about and over. Like I said, it absolutely can be sphere of influence. It can be a showing. It can be matchmaking. If you're not familiar with what matchmaking is, it's just the term that we use at Agent Rise to say that you're going into your MLS and Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, and you are scouring all of the places on the internet to find properties to send to people that have already raised their hand and said, hey, I'm a buyer, I'm looking for X, Y, or Z. That is a really great way to get into engagements and get those numbers up. If you're feeling like, I don't know who to talk to today, dive into your old pipelines, dive into your previous conversations, find those buyers that maybe raised their hand and now they're, they went cold. Reach back out, find them a property and say, here, I found this property and I thought of you. Is this something that you would be interested in? Or what would an interest rate need to drop to in order for you to consider coming back into the market? Those types of conversations. It can also be, I had recently a friend reach out to me and say, hey, so-and-so is looking for a property in this location. Would you be able to see if there's anything out there? So I went in and I did that. I looked for a coming soon and I sent them a couple properties. And then once I got a little feedback, I followed up again and said, hey, does your friend have an agent? Are they looking for somebody to do this for them on a regular basis? So it's any conversations that you're having like that could or would or will or do provide you with future business or future income. Again, some of those conversations, you're going to know if they should be counted or not, or you should. Like sometimes I know like, okay, this person that I am having this conversation about is not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to count it because part of the reason that I'm counting these is because I want to see my business grow. So it's not going to help you if you know you're cheating, right? So don't cheat. Another thing that I will say, back to my original point about the quality, I recently joined a challenge, which I would be happy to put together for those of you that are looking for a little bit of accountability. But I joined myself a engagement challenge, and it's not necessarily set up to say I have to call 100 people every week for 5 weeks or anything. What the goal of this challenge is just to keep me accountable and to make sure that I am actually paying attention to the amount of engagements that I'm having and the quality. And what I will say from week 1 of this challenge that I joined is I'm looking at my engagements and I'm realizing that I've gotten really good at recycling engagements. So when I look at the people that I wrote down on that list, there's not a lot of brand new names, which means I'm just recycling the same people in hopes that they're going to all of a sudden refer me business or they're going to jump back into the market or something like that. And so that was really eye-opening for me to say, okay, this week I have a goal to have new real estate conversations, new engagements with new people, and to stop writing these same numbers down, even with your matchmaking. Like, yes, you should be sending those out, but if you're not consistently adding new names, you're not going to add new business, and your business is just going to kind of stay the same. It's going to just plateau. And I know that none of us are looking really for a plateau ever because we are on a roller coaster. So like we need a little bit of stability, but we can't ever plateau in the people that we're having conversations with and the amount of conversations that we are having. So what I want you to think about is, first and foremost, look into your calendar. And in one of the upcoming episodes that I'm going to be putting out, I'm going to be talking specifically about calendar because I think that is a really, really important piece. And I know for me that I don't want to get too much into it, but really dialing in my calendar has been absolutely a game changer for my business. And so I want to talk about some of the things that I've done and how you, I think, can improve your calendar in order to improve your performance and your productivity without feeling like you're just spinning wheels. So anyways, back to engagements. One of the things, though, that I think you need to do while you're thinking about this topic is you need to take a peek at your calendar. Look at yesterday's calendar, look at today's calendar, look at last week's calendar, and really have an honest conversation with yourself and see, how are you spending your time? I think a lot of us, when we actually start to dive into that question, we realize how much time we actually waste on mindless scrolling and brainstorming even that just is not moving the needle. And one of the ways in which I really saw this, I really had this kind of aha moment around this is recently on a Sunday. I had no work obligations, no appointments. I had no showing. So I knew I did not really need to be in front of my phone at all. And I basically got up early that morning and left my phone at the charger. And I basically didn't come back to it for an entire day. And I literally felt like I had just gotten off of a 7-day staycation because of the amount of things that I was able to do, as well as having time to sit and read a book and do some meal prep and do some of those things that I do to fill me up on a personal level. I realized in that day how much time we actually have every single day when we take every single second accountable. And I mean every single second. When I catch myself opening social media when I know that there is work to be done or there are engagements to be had, I try to catch myself, because 10 or 20 or 30 seconds is enough time to throw you off your game. It's enough time for you to come across something or someone who threatens you or puts you in a bad mood or makes you feel like you're not enough. And those are the moments. Those are the seconds of our day that can literally derail an entire 10 or 12 or 15 hour period of time. So when we stay off of those, not only do we gain all of those seconds back in our lives, because again, when we are not distracted, when we are solely focused on the one thing in front of us, whether that be engagements, whether that be our sphere of influence that we're working on, whether it be the thank you cards that you're writing out to people, whatever it is, when you're solely focused on that one thing, you will be amazed at how little time it actually takes you to accomplish these things. And also, when you are hyper focused on how you're spending all of those seconds, you absolutely will not waste any of them putting yourself at risk on those social media platforms that maybe aren't healthy for your mindset and your productivity and all of those things that they can steal from us. So that's your homework. I want you to just start paying attention to how you're spending your day and how many quality engagements you are having on a daily and weekly basis. And if you can start really holding yourself accountable to this, I think that you will find that in a month's time, in 2 months' time, in 3 months' time, certainly in a year's time, if you stay consistent with getting those engagements in every single day, you will see your business skyrocket. So I hope that helps. I would love to hear some feedback from you. You can find me just over at Mindi Kessenich on Instagram. It's, I think, Mindi_Kessenich. It'll be in the show notes as well, because nobody can spell either one of my names. But anyways, I hope that's helpful. I would love to hear from you if it is. Let me know how your engagements are coming along. If you have some great ideas, if you're looking for ideas, you know where to find me. Thank you so much for listening today, and we will see you next time on the Agent Mentor Podcast.